Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Mike here from AXC Garage. Welcome back to our channel. And today we have another 2021 Honda Civic Type R Limited Edition. This one is car number 175. We got a few upgrades that we're gonna do today. But before we do that, John and I will go ahead and do a walk around on this car. So we're gonna start off with the parts list. What do we have here, John?
So we got a few goodies here. I'm a little excited about some of these. Other ones, I already know what's gonna happen, so we gotta put them on and see how it goes. So first we have the Prl Intake. We put this on a couple cars Mike has, and we really like the way it performs. It sounds real good. The install is simple, looks really clean. So this one we've done before, and now we're gonna get it done on this one as well.
I do want to say, I think this intake is probably one of the best intake for the FK on the market. One of the best, I wouldn't say the best, but one of the best.
You know, that's how you feel about it. I'm sure there's someone out there that thinks their intake's better than it, but for us, after Honda Classic, AXC Garage, this is the one that we're going with right here. And now we have the RunHard Industries Ground Kit. You've seen us put this on Miguel's car. Now we're gonna do FK8 one. And this is one of the few companies that actually makes this kit for the FK8. And they offer the kit in two different fashions, in the Raychem DR25 high heat and oil resistant finish, and then also with a mesh finish over it. And the one thing a lot of people don't always consider is the grounding of their car. Grounding is super important. In a 12-volt system, the way this car works, everything needs to ground. Your engine computer, your sensors, your alternator, your injectors, your ignition coils, it needs to ground. The better grounding you have, the better performance you're gonna have, the better idle you're gonna have. It's a simple thing. I mean, will it make horsepower? It might. Is the car gonna run better? 100%. One of the cheapest, easiest mods you're gonna get a nice performance change out of. And the nice thing about this company is they have already made it to the right size. They bent the cables in the proper angles and made everything so it just fits easy. This is just the ground kit. They also do charge harness kits, and they specialize in K-series stuff, front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, even custom applications. If you have a K-swapped EG hatch or a K-swapped S2000, they have applications for everything.
And everything is handmade, custom made to your application.
Absolutely, you have it the best quality you can get in a ground kit. And not to mention, when we show this next to the factory ones, you're gonna see the difference. And the next thing we have is one of my favorite pieces. It's kind of like it's been part of the family, a little hand-me-down from one person to the next, is the Mugen Roof spoiler. It's really nice, it's inlaid with carbon fiber, and Brian did a really good job over at Paint Society making this flawless. So previously, this was on Mike's car, his FK8, and it was white, champ white, and then we had this, went on to David's other FK8, which was champ white as well. Now it's going to the third car, second owner, and now we painted it black because the roof on the LE is black, and now it looks really slick the way the black and the carbon fiber matches, and ain't nothing like a little bit of chrome Mugen. Next thing we have over here is the King Motorsports power folding mirror kit that they use here, and it uses a lot of OEM Honda parts and some of their own harnesses. And what this does is it integrates power folding mirrors that will fold your mirrors when you lock the car, just like you would say an advanced model MBX or TLX will do here. And now you have it on your Civic, and it's a little bit complicated on the install, but we'll show you a couple tricks to help you get through it.
Is it plug and play?
It is all plug and play. You have to route some wiring. That's the only part that gets a little complicated, but other than that, everything plugs in. Factory switches, everything. It's a really nice kit. And last but not least, we have David's wheels. If you saw in one of our other videos, we had asked center caps or not.
Center caps.
I'm used to old school rims, never having a center cap.
Caps or not. I mean, I'm a center cap guy. Dave's a little weird. He didn't want center caps, but you know.
You're the winner. We get in the center cap.
They're going on, and we actually got them in the blue finish, which I think goes pretty good with the wheel. Should look pretty nice when we put it all together.
Very nice.
Very nice. So let's go ahead and start putting all these goodies on the car.
All right, so before we get started on the car, John, let's talk about Honda Civic LE here.
So the cool thing about the LEs is that it's not just the paint. There's a lot more to it that makes the car limited. Also the fact that there's only 600 of them in the US. This is number 175. It's pretty cool. This car is landed in Florida. I think it came from the West Coast, and this is where it's going to stay.
You know, one thing I do want to say though, John, and you know, this is David's car, and we got a small series on our YouTube channel, and every time he brings his car to our shop, and it's usually very dirty, and I'm kind of proud of him.
Well, you know, I will say that, you know, he's been doing a little bit better, keeping the car clean.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's rare, I don't know, but he daily drives it. It's got 3,000 miles on it.
That's what it's for.
Hey, you know, I mean, I don't think he goes very far. It only has 3,000 miles on it, but he's still, this is when he's got to go to the store. This is the car he hops in and goes to the store. And so,
Well, talking about going to the store, let's talk about under the hood. I know we got some parts from his previous car, and now it's on this car. Tell me more, John.
so some more parts that made their way from your car to David's other car and then onto this car is the turbo blanket here, and also the RV6 downpipe and front pipe, the HKS super sequential blow-off valve, the very fancy Mugen front carbon fiber garnish here. This is an overlay. And also the car has a stage 2 variable tune, and this is a tune that you can contact them and he can send you and you can upload it yourself. Eventually the car is going to go to the dyno and get tuned once we have the intake on it, just to get everything fine-tuned and worked out.
To use that tune, we do need to get a Honda, and this car has a Honda.
Yeah, this is a Honda on here as well. It's been reflashed, jailbroken, and that's where all the sauce is at. Now, the other thing this has, you can notice, it's a little bit lower than stock. That's the other nice thing about these, is the BBS forged wheels. These only come on the LE, and I went ahead and priced it out one day just for fun. $14,000 to replace the wheels.
That's not too bad.
My HREs on my car don't cost that much, but you know.
I tell you what, though, the iBox spring really look well on this drop, along with the 20-inch forged wheel here.
Yeah, and these have no spacers. These are stock fitment. You can see it's a little weak. We were going to do spacers, but we have the Graham lights to throw on here. We also have the camber adjusted with a hard race camber kit in the rear, and with the iBox kit, it's going to sit just perfect. And I think everything together with a little alignment at the end, the car is going to be perfect. All right, so here's the intake with all the pieces laid out. This is our air box. This is our mass airflow adapter. This is our velocity stack, air filter, all the clamps, brackets, and the silicone adapter hose. And this is one of the valves for the vacuum. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do the bench work, which means installing the filter and this and the brackets onto this box. Then we'll go and remove the stock intake from the car. And there's a couple more parts we got to swap over from that stock intake onto this, so that will fit in there. So we'll go ahead and start here and then get onto the car. All right, so we got the box built. Now we got to remove the stock air box and all of this contraption here because we have all the new stuff. We're going to reuse this piece on the new intake. We're going to remove this harness covering and use some supplied loom that we have. We're going to replace this with a new part, and we're going to take care of all that. And also there's some rubber mounting points that come on here that we're going to swap over to the new intake. So let's start by removing this, and then we'll get the intake out. Here we have the intakes in comparison. You can already see overall this thing is much bigger. It does utilize some things like from the factory, such as the fact that it's made out of plastic. It's not going to heat sink. A lot like there are other intakes like the Mishimoto and other ones that are made of metal, and those are going to hold heat and maintain a little bit more. This is a much more efficient setup. This is a lot like our Comtech Icebox that we have on your Integra. So on as far as this goes, we got to swap over our mass airflow meter right here. We're going to swap over this grommet, and we're also going to swap over this grommet onto here. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so now we're ready for the ground kit, the RunHard ground kit. Let's go ahead and see what we got on the car and see where these match up. Here's the passenger side ground. It goes from the mount here down to the chassis. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but it's right under here. So we're going to go ahead and start with changing that one out first. Alright, so to make this a little bit easier, we removed the bracket that holds the coolant reservoir in place just so we get better access to the bolt. Mike's installing it now in its factory location, and then we'll go ahead and finish up the installation.
All right, so next up we have two more ground, one right up here by the battery, and the next one is right down here by the transmission. Good idea for us to do that while the airbox is out of the way.
So here we have this ground, and the neat thing is you can see that these are angled at different angles, and this is also set up in the correct orientation. It's a little bit longer because it's a little bit thicker, so it needs to run a little bit extra length to get the right fitment on it. As you can see, pretty nice upgrade. 3 ground wires are installed. Very nice, very clean. You saw it over there. Now it's time to get back to the PRL intake. And what we need to do is we need to remove this hard plastic covering and install the supplied wire loom. Pretty simple. Just gonna open this up a little bit right here. Open that there. Alright, everything under the hood is done. Let's go ahead and put the spoiler on. Oh yeah.
All right, so we are all done under the hood. Next up, we got a Mugen spoiler. Brian, tell me a little bit more about this.
So originally this spoiler was fiberglass in the very beginning, and we had to mask it off and make sure that the fiberglass and carbon fiber areas were still there. There's a carbon fiber insert here. So we painted it champ white for the original car. Now a new customer got it, and he wanted this to match the roof on this FK8 Civic. So we went ahead and we masked off everything completely, and we changed the color from champ white to now crystal black pearl, which is the same color on the roof. You can see the inserted areas are identical to what they looked like when it was champ white, and we pan over to this area, we can see they're identical. Now the portions here are completely different. This is a much wider section of that of the first part here, and you can see the contours are just a little bit different as well. The whole spoiler is painted from the front side and the back side completely, even though you will never see this side as well. Now the last step here is to put the badge on, and that's what we're gonna do right now.
46.2. So the stock 20-inch wheels, the regular FK8 wheels is close to 50 pounds.
Oh, so this is a pretty substantial weight saving.
15% just about.
Not bad.
All right, let's go ahead and put the ground lights and see what we have here.
Look at that.
46.4. So the stock wheel is 0.2 pound lighter.
I tell you what though, these are still a little cheaper than these.
You talking about the tires? You talking about the wheels?
Everything. This is $14,000 for this setup here.
That gotta be a mistake, dude. There's no
that's
way.
full retail. You can only get these wheels if you have a VIN for an LE. They're specific to that car. And not to mention the tires are $700 to $800 each.
Those, what size? 245, 30, 20?
245, 30, 20. Michelin Pilot Cup 2.
And these are what? 265, 35, 18. All right, so the wheels and tires are all done. Talk to me, John. One last item on the table, what we got here?
So we saved the best for last. I mean, it depends on what you think about it. This is the most involved part out of this whole video. And this is gonna be the, what is it called? The High Rev Motorsports folding mirror conversion for the FK8. This kit's really neat because, as you can see, it comes with everything that you need to convert the car to power folding mirrors, including a OEM switch that mounts in the stock location with the power folding button, and it is a Honda part. Comes with the control unit you need to make it work, all the required zip ties and such, all the harnesses made for this conversion, your two actuators, it's still safe, and your power tap.
All right, guys, here's everything we need to get the power folding mirror working. We got both actuators, a switch, harnesses, and also a control unit. So let's go ahead to the car and remove the door panels. So while everything's apart, this is the power window switch right over here. This is the switch that the kit comes with. Got a button for the folding function. So let's go ahead and remove it. 2 Phillips screws on the back.
All right, so we're gonna remove the speaker so we can get access to where the harness comes from the car into the door. All right, so we have to run this harness along with our positive that goes to the fuse box from the door into the chassis. So we're going to go ahead and detach the rubber grommet that holds the harness from the inside of the car to give us better access to it. All right, well, we got it out. Now we need to snake the wires from here into here. We're going to get a coat hanger and make it happen. So here we have the driver's side mirror, and we're going to disassemble this to swap out this mechanism. This is the actual motor right inside here. This is what holds the mirror actuator. So let's go ahead and start by taking everything apart here and start disassembling the mirror. All right, so the next thing we have to do is we're going to have to de-pin these wires. So a good thing to do is to take a picture with your phone. Now that way, when it comes time to put it back together, we'll know where all the wires go. So I have a de-pinning tool here. I got it off of Amazon, no big deal. And we're going to go ahead and start releasing the locks through the front here and pulling the wires out. We have the actuator with the base out. So now we're going to swap over this base and the wire harness to our new piece. So harness is run, control units installed, the mirror actuators are all pinned in. Now all we got to do is install it.
I can see your face through the mirror. All right, guys, we're all done with this Civic Type R Limited Edition car number 175. From under the hood to the exterior, we got everything done. Definitely transformed the look on the Civic Type R. You guys like what you see, make sure to subscribe to our channel and also give us a thumbs up. My name is Mike, on behalf of AXC Garage. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys on the next one.